everybody, and welcome back to reviewing a random book I decided to read. So, I finished reading Strange Pictures by Uketsu. I have to say, I don't think it's the most amazing thriller crime novel I've read. It was different, that's for sure. I think the only way to describe this book is different. It's very, very unique in the way it's written, and I don't know, actually very strange also. Those were my initial thoughts of this book. The first 100 pages, it's a very short book. I mean, it's how many pages? 240 pages basically, which is very, very short in my opinion. It still took me so much time to finish reading. So let's talk about what I actually liked in this book. There are a lot of things. I think it's really, really succinct. It's very well written. Those are the top two things and main reasons why I think you should read a book. It's a good weekend read. It's literally a weekend read. It took me quite long because I get lazy and I procrastinate a lot when it comes to anything in life. Another very unique thing about this book is the pictures that it has. I think it's very, very interesting, and this is the first time I've read a book which actually has pictures that add a lot to the story. They're not just there for show. You can also go along and play along with the detectives or the people trying to solve the mystery, and that's a very fun experience to have. Although I would say the ending was slightly underwhelming. I was hoping for it to be a massive, I don't know, reveal or something, but it wasn't. It was slightly underwhelming, but what I do like is that they tied up all the ends very well. There's not one loose end by the end of the story. And although the ending was a little bit, I don't know, confusing to me. So I read a couple of Reddit posts and I still couldn't understand what the ending was. But yeah, reading the Reddit posts, I also mirror their sentiments. It was an okay story, but the way it's written is very, very engaging, So that's a very, very big plus point for this book. Another thing is that it can be a little confusing, not going to lie. At one point, when, all of the mystery started unraveling, I was slightly confused because I couldn't firstly remember the names of people and who was who and what was, when, because there are 3 different chapters before it all starts unraveling at the end. And I was confused at the end for a little bit. And then, I remember Saturday afternoon, I read, the last chapter a little bit, and then I went to sleep. And in my head, I was thinking, oh, that person is a son of that person, and they were married, and then that person died, and you may also have to write it down if visualization helps you. Maybe he could have actually made a family tree also in the book, since he's added pictures anyway. I think that would have helped a lot of readers too. I think it's a great entry into such a genre, Japanese mystery sensation. I don't know why it specifically says Japanese, maybe only because it's written by a Japanese author. There's nothing intrinsically Japanese about the book otherwise. Of course it's set in Japan, but other than that, obviously there is no murder. There's no American murder or Japanese murder. Another thing that I really, really find intriguing about this book is the way these pictures are drawn. They're very mathematical, or geometric, I want to say, not mathematical. They very well fit into each other, and because you basically have to decipher the drawings to understand the mystery and to find the culprit. It's really interesting to see how these drawings play a part in it. These are some of the drawings, it's on the back of the book, that these are all part of the story, and it's kind of creepy. I know, this I couldn't read this after that for one day. It was kind of creepy. Other than that, the creepiest part of this entire book is actually his picture itself. Why are you putting that on the cover of a book? I'm sorry. I haven't had the chance to see his YouTube video. Apparently he does have a YouTube channel also. I'm not very keen on watching someone wear a serial killer mask. I don't know what he talks about in those videos. Um, then at the end, there's another segue for another book called Strange Houses. Now, I don't know what that is going to be about. I don't think I'm going to read another book which is also similar to this. I feel like it's the kind of book, like, once you understand the writer's thought and, the way he wants to proceed with a story, a similar book written by him would be very easy to catch on, and you would be like, oh, well, I figured it out very, very quickly. So I don't think I'm going to read Strange Houses, or there's another one actually called Strange Buildings or something. I don't know if it's part 2 of this book, because the ending of this book was slightly confusing to me. I'm not going to say that it didn't tie loose ends. So when the story ended, we knew who the murderer was and why they did what they did. But there are these 2 pages at the end which I don't know added what to the story, and I couldn't really understand what to take away from it. So I wonder if it's like segue to this next book, but it doesn't mention anywhere, and I couldn't even find on Reddit anywhere if that is the case. But even on Reddit, so I always read a Reddit thread related to the book after I finish reading, the sentiment was also the same, that it's like a good book. What makes it engaging is the way he's written it, and involving pictures, which is what makes it a really exciting book to read. I think as an adult, I don't know, I'm on the edge about this. Like, I feel that some people really have, an interest in such books. Maybe 18, 19-year-olds who really want to read like murder mysteries, or like maybe even 18. I'm thinking from a 27-year-old lens, but 18, 19-year-old may be okay, or like 15 upwards, I would say, can read this book and may actually like this book quite a lot. It can also spark your interest in psychology, because there is talk about a psychologist who analyzes the drawings of the murderer, and that's a quite interesting thing. I think there could be an entirely different story, and that would be really interesting. I don't know if that will be fiction so much as just a psychoanalysis of drawings. But yeah, what was interesting is the psychologist saying in the book that, children usually draw the idea of what you ask them to, while adults actually just draw what you ask them to. For example, if you ask me to draw a flower, I will draw a flower because I can process what a flower is and what it looks like, and I have seen so many. But children draw the idea of what a flower is to them, which is very interesting. And obviously psychology is also a very, very interesting subject. So I think he could have played a little bit more on that. Maybe it would have made it more engaging. But nonetheless, I think I'm going back and forth about it, because I can't make up my mind if it's a read or not to read sort of a thing. But I think you can skip it. Like, you can definitely skip this book if you're not into murder mysteries. It's not going to get you into murder mysteries. But I think it's a very different perspective on murder mysteries and how to, talk about this genre. So if you're looking to try something new and you want to read something from an Asian author, and you don't mind spending, how much is this book for? It was for 1,000 rupees in India. I think maybe a little expensive. I'm sure you can find a Kindle version of it also, or a free PDF. But please don't buy take free PDFs. Take free PDFs of books. It's not really nice for the author. They don't get paid for it. So I would give this book like a 3.5 out of 5. I definitely think you can give it a pass, but if you're interested in something like this, it may intrigue you and may excite you. Okay, now I will finally go back to reading the other Asian author that I had bought, the book called Butter. I haven't touched it. I haven't read it. Let's see where we go with it. I will start reading it tomorrow. I think, like all books, it's like a thing. Like, if you are reading fiction books, you cannot keep reading one book after the other, all of them fiction, because they all, I don't know, at least my mind, I start feeling a sense of monotony and then I don't register the story that much. Similar is the case with like non-fiction books. I think it's harder with non-fiction books because you really need to focus on non-fiction books because you want to know that perspective of that author. Otherwise, what's the point of reading that book? So right now I'm on a fiction horse and I'm going to be riding this one. That's not a really great metaphor that I used, but yeah. I know the next book is going to be non-fiction because I already know which one I want to read and I'm so excited about it. So I will make a video about the one that I want to read also very soon. But till then, you should keep reading, you should keep exploring and find new things to keep your brain engaged. Okay, see you guys. Bye.